mentioned that, maybe surprisingly to y'all to begin with, that these watersheds were cleaner than you would think. Oh, okay, you do credit maybe our flat land, so it doesn't flow immediately into.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the riparian
Right, and the
forest,
riparian areas.
maybe
Yeah.
the flat land keeps it flowing. Has an area that's more slightly, but a little more hilly, like in the Swanee Basin, like say Piscola Creek in Brooks County and Upper Thomas. It might not have been studied, but would you expect the same result there, or not?
Well, Piscola, it's not really. I don't think so. The gradients are much different there. We actually, George Felias and I actually had a project back in the 90s. Unfortunately, most of that isn't published, but there's a lot of data on Piscola. Okay. Piscola Creek had a lot of swine, a lot of hogs. There's still a lot of hogs there. Well, actually, I take that back. They may be mostly gone because of the way the swine market is consolidated into almost all the productions in North Carolina and Iowa. I don't really know if swine producers have managed to stay in business over there around Quitman. But in the 80s, Piscola Creek was identified as a place with pretty big water quality problems for this part of the state, largely because of hogs that were out in the swamps. And that's what people did. I mean, old-fashioned hog production, these were hogs that were kept in, traditional pens, and they were let out into the woods, and they were let out into fields. And NRCS had a major project in Piscola Creek to get the swine into confinement facilities. Now, remember, that was 20 years ago. So NRCS isn't really, well, I wouldn't say they're not pushing people to get, if there was a part of the state where people still had hogs running around in the streams, NRCS would still be interested in getting them out of the streams. Now, whether they would be interested in putting them onto slabs and getting them into confinement, building lagoons, I don't know, because NRCS isn't really into lagoons anymore. That's kind of another story. But yeah, we've got a lot of water quality data down there, and we actually have documented some changes as they got the hogs out of the woods and into